Our scripture lesson comes from Mark 6, verses 30 to 44. Jesus feeds the 5,000. The apostles gathered around Jesus and reported to him all they had done and taught. Then, because so many people were coming and going, they did not even have a chance to eat. And he said to them, "Come with me by yourselves to a quiet place and get some rest." So they went away by themselves in a boat to a solitary place. But many who saw them leaving recognized them and ran on foot from all the towns and got there ahead of him. When Jesus landed and saw the large crowd, he had compassion on them because they were like sheep without a shepherd. So he began teaching them many things. By this time it was late in the day, so his disciples came to him. "This is a remote place," they said, "and it's already very late. Send the people away so that they can go to the surrounding countryside and village and buy themselves something to eat." But he answered, "You give them something to eat." They said to him, "That would take more than half a year's wages. Are we to go and spend that much on bread and give it to them to eat?" "How many loaves do you have?" he asked. "Go and see." When they found out, they said, 5 and 2 fishes. Then Jesus directed them to have all the people sit down in groups on the green grass. So they sat down in groups of hundreds and fifties. Taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fishes and looking up to heaven, he gave thanks and broke the loaves. Then he gave them to his disciples to distribute to the people. He also divided the 2 fish amongst them all. They all ate and were satisfied. And the disciples picked up 12 baskets of broken pieces of bread and fish. The number of the men who had eaten with 5,000 was 5,000. This is the word of the Lord. So thank you everyone for being here from Vacation Bible School. We had the most fun, if you could tell by the energy this morning. It was such a fun week of fellowship and getting to make new friends and learning about God in the midst of chaos. Thank you to Liz and Ranger Kevin. Where is Ranger Kevin? Who every morning, Ranger Kevin had to save us by feeding us, by being a port in the storming and giving us shelter, by getting the squirrels to leave us alone, for rescuing us in so many different ways. And we asked the children, "Who do you think Ranger Kevin is?" And they all knew he was supposed to be Jesus in those scenarios. So we had a wonderful week. We learned about strength and peace and love and kindness and God always being with us in times of chaos. And through the creativity of Mrs. Healy and Brett with their games, and Mrs. Messineo and Ranger Kevin for teaching us the Bible stories, and Grandma Ruth and Grandma Evelyn, who are part of the Grandma Squad. We have a Grandma Squad now for everybody who needs to know. We have lots of grandmas who help us with Vacation Bible School. With the crafts, and Mrs. Balboni and the help of Gabe and Luca serving us yummy snacks. And of course, Mr. Nathan, who brought us amazing music and amazing energy this week. We really had the most fun. I heard from many parents telling us that they went home singing the songs and they were talking about Jesus, and that's like the best thing we could possibly hear, the best compliment, so thank you. And of course, to all our leaders, the youth leaders who, this is my 8th Vacation Bible School, and they started out and they were really tiny, and now they are amazing leaders. I was blown away by their leadership and their enthusiasm every day, and just how they cared for the little children. And of course, to the adult leaders, I don't want to call you adults, I guess, you know, the more seasoned leaders, thank you for all your help. Again, I couldn't do any of this without all the love and enthusiasm and leadership that you all brought to this week. It really was amazing. And I'm so proud of everybody and so grateful to have so many people helping us. We had a lot of new friends help us this year, and new leaders, and I hope you're going to join us again next year. So we made new friends, and we made new connections through ministries that I couldn't believe happening. So we saw Jesus work in the lives of our church in big ways and in small ways all week long. And of course, we ended up with the ice cream man, who was always a big hit. He fed the crowd the loaves and the fishes, or the ice cream pops. It was amazing. Yeah, with his little truck. Yeah. And of course, the bubble guy. You saw by all the slides how much fun the children were having. And God was in every single moment of all of that. So thank you. And now I would like to welcome some of my friends to come up. And I'm going to start with Mr. Nathan. He's going to give us some words of testimony. And then it's going to be Mrs. Devon Jones, who joined the church recently. And I think I met you for the first time kickoff Sunday last year. And now she's fully immersed with her 3 children, and we involve her as many ways as we can. And then we're going to end off with Mrs. Messineo, who of course has to give her testimony. I look forward to Vacation Bible School 2026, and thank you all.
A little too tall. Okay, there we go. Good morning. With this being my first Vacation Bible School here at BRPC, about two months into my time here, I was unsure of what to expect for the week. Despite all of the unknowns, by the time I was a half hour in on Monday, I personally was having an absolute blast, and I was so happily surprised on so many levels. It really was a remarkable week. The kids this week were so great to work with. We had so much fun in music, playing lots of games and practicing the songs, of course, all while having lots of laughs. Even though we were always having lots of fun, we were all learning that in the midst of the chaos in our world, whether it be 5,000 starving men or 50 kids soaked after a visit from the bubble man, that Jesus calms the chaos in our lives. I also want to give a special shout out to all of our phenomenal middle and high school volunteers. Every single one of them was extremely responsible and did such an amazing job assisting at the stations and helping with our younger campers. It was impressive to see all of them as stepping up and being such great leaders. Of course, a big thank you to all of the other adult volunteers who planned such exciting stations and led groups, and a very big thank you to Miss Stacy, who planned everything so well. It was really a great time. I was trying to think of a specific moment or memory from the week to share with you all this morning to encapsulate Vacation Bible School, but I couldn't just boil it down to a single one. But as I'm sure anyone who was there at any point during the week saw, all of the smiling faces and the pure joy that surrounded the church this week was such a great reminder of the joy that God gives us in our lives. You can tell I get a little nervous in front of big crowds. Okay. As we now leave VBS to enjoy a final few weeks before the school year begins, I know that I'll be carrying not only the lessons that I learned, but also all the exciting experiences that we had over the week throughout what is bound to be another chaotic school year. But I hope all of us can lean on this amazing week as summer ends to remind us that with God, anything is possible. And I think it's safe for me to say, too, that VBS was just the start of all of the fun events that are going to be happening this year. I know Stacy, Kate, and myself have so many exciting things planned for the upcoming school year, and I wanted to just take one super quick minute to highlight the new Children and Youth Choir, which will be meeting on Thursdays from 5:15 to 6 p.m. to learn music to share with the church, and also, of course, do lots of other fun activities. If I learned one thing from VBS this summer, it's that our church is filled with so many talented young singers, and I'm looking forward to getting to keep making music with them all throughout the year. Thanks again for a great, amazing week, and I'm looking forward to next summer's VBS already.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm Devon Jones. I'm mom to Hazel, Hannibal, and Otto, 3 of our campers this week. I was a volunteer leader for one of our preschool groups. They were adorable. An absolute mess, but they were adorable. It was a pleasure. Coated in chocolate pudding, not listening, twirling everywhere, everything that comes with little kids, 2 of which were my own. to my love and mortification. In the back of my head, I was like, these kids aren't getting any of this. It's going to be fine. We could hardly keep them contained in their designated areas. Thank you to all of the teenage helpers we had. You know, we were pretty special. But these songs, lessons, crafts, and snacks that we were doing weren't just keeping the kids busy. They were helping to lay a foundation of a spiritual language, a shared commonality that allows us to speak God's language to each other across generations, communities, and between strangers. On Wednesday, when I was walking out of the sanctuary, holding my kids' hands, like, oh my God, it's done. I made it another day. I survived. I heard a little voice behind me, and still holding my 2 kids' hands, I turned to see what it was. And it was one of our little campers, skipping, having a great time, holding his mom's hand, sun shining behind him, 12 o'clock. And he was singing, "I've got the whole world in my hands." And a pediatrician once told me that babies always renewed his faith in humanity. But this week I had to say that children renewed my faith in God. Somehow, between all the messes and silliness, these kids learned their songs. I was wrong. I was shocked. Songs that my grandmother sang to me, and that one day these kids are going to be singing to their kids. My biggest reason for returning to church almost exactly a year ago was, and this church in particular, was to find a Christian community for my kids to grow up in, a home base to build their own spiritual foundations before they set out into the world. And it was wonderful to be of service in this community's outreach this week, and I am truly thankful for the experience. So thank you, everyone.
Yeah, we're not as tall. Hello, I'm Liz Messineo. While others have a specific job to do all week, as you've heard Miss Stacy, there's games, craft, music, snack. Mine is a little more open for interpretation, Bible stories. Yes, I could just sit everyone in a semicircle and read from the Bible and then give them a good memory verse to do, and most curriculums would basically want me to do that. But they are 4 to 10 years old and deep in the middle of their summer vacation. I don't want them to dread the 25 minutes they have with me. And if they just tune out, well, they're not going to learn anything about God anyway. So, with Miss Stacy's blessing every year, I Mrs. Messineo it up a little bit. And with the help of a trusty teen who is willing to embark on this slightly sillier journey with me, and in this case, for his 4th year, talk about a glutton for punishment. 4th year, we have one of the all-time great people, Mr. Kevin Ward, or Mr. Kevin, as he was all week. Well, we try not to only tell the stories, but put a little context, a little feeling behind them. Have the children ever felt lonely? Have they been mad about something? Have they made perhaps some bad choices? And sometimes Kevin and I, completely coincidentally, will have a similar experience that very day. I don't know how that happens. Or we have a fun demonstration that helps them picture something that may be a little abstract for them. Well, and of course at the end, I always have to ask a few fun questions each time to learn a little bit more about them and to show that if we are different, it's okay. Well, anyway, every year I tell Stacy it's my last because I've been doing this for 25 years. Since my daughter was 2 years old. So, oh please. Oh, no, because every year I say, this is it, Stacy, I'm done, I'm old, time to check out. But then she asks, and I always seem to say yes. Well, it was particularly gratifying this year when 2 of the helpers, 2 of the teens, who I had for years as campers, and now they're older than I care to think about, told me that of course I had to keep doing it, because what's Bible stories without Mrs. Messineo? My heart. So this is why I come back. 1, I get to cement help cement into children's hearts that God loves them and loves them exactly as they are. And I get to hang out with some amazing kids who become amazing teens, who become amazing adults, and who make my life so much richer and just plain better. So I guess that means, Stacy, I guess I'm on board for 2026. Anyway, now, I don't know, can we have 2 minutes? Do I have 2 minutes? Do I have 2 minutes? You told me 20, Alvin, we're past that. 2 minutes? All right, 2 minutes, I promise. So, in the Mrs. Messineo show, or Mrs. Messineo's Bible study, we always end with a couple questions. Sorry, we always end with a couple questions. So I thought maybe we could share some of our questions here for all of you. So, Mark, do you have any brothers and sisters?
Yes.
What do you have?
A brother and a sister.
A brother and a sister, that's excellent. Do you have brothers and sisters?
Brother.
A brother, excellent, that's wonderful. All right, people, this is more important. Would you rather be an eagle or a tiger?
A tiger.
A tiger. Would you rather be an eagle or a tiger, Jean?
Tiger.
Tiger, ooh, we have a lot of tigers. Sue, would you rather be an eagle or a tiger?
Tiger.
Tiger. There's a lot of, come on, are there any eagles here? Come on. Yeah, see, what am I telling? Okay, now this is one for everybody because this is very, very important. Breakfast or dinner? Show of hands. Breakfast, people, breakfast? Ooh, not so much dinner. Who are the dinner people? Yeah, well, you're wrong because it's breakfast. So, all about the breakfast. Okay, super speed, super strength. Sir, super speed or super strength?
Strength.
Strength? What do you think? What do you think? Super speed, super strength?
Super speed.
Super speed. How many super speeds do we have? Ooh, not too many. Super strength? Ooh, we have a lot of people who want to be strong. I want to be like Dash from The Incredibles and just run everywhere. Okay, we need to wrap this up. So, last question. So, does God love you just as you are? Everyone?
Yes.
Does God love you just as you are?
Yes.
Welcome to Mrs. Messineo Bible Stories 101.